if they know that you're a little annoyed at them, they run. I'll tell you who didn't run. Scott Desjardins. Remember, we were mad at Scott, and he came on and he faced the music.
And he said, I knew you were going to blast me.
He said, but that's cool. I mean, we got to get beyond this. Burchett's the same way. We can disagree. You know who's not the same way?
Andy Ogles.
Andy Ogles.
Mark Green.
It's not about me. It's not about Bell. It's not about Ken Weaver. It's not by extension about Brian Wilson or Dan Mandis or Chris Hand or any of the rest of us on Super Talk. We are a place, an electronic place, whether it's on the radio or on your internet stream. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that you consume us. I mean, there was a time where it was just the radio. Well, now it's the radio and it's the internet and it's your phone, it's your laptop, it's your computer. You can find us on Super Talk TV, for better or worse. When it's my show, it's worse. Super Talk 99.7 WTN is there. Anywhere you go. But we act as an electronic public square where people who are concerned about their community, whether it be Nashville and license plate readers, the crime rate in Nashville, and the inability of Mayor Freddie O'Connell to come to a conclusion or a decision on it, whatever it might be, whether it is Wilson County or Sumner County or down in Columbia or wherever it might be in the far reaches of Middle Tennessee, we're going to be there speaking truth to power. We're going to talk in a way that the community wants to talk. We are a gathering spot for those types of conversations. And as such, one would expect, because there are many, many people gathered at this electronic public square. Imagine the public square, the old school public square downtown. Imagine, whatever, Franklin, Tennessee or Gallatin. They both have great public squares. Imagine people gathering to listen to people speak and asking questions of their politicians, asking questions of their local elected leaders. That's what this radio station is all about at our essence. We are a reflection of the community. We act as a ballast and a mirror to the community about the prevailing mood that you might be in on this, that, or the other thing. And as such, one would expect that not for Matt Murphy, not for Dan Mandis, not for Brian Wilson, not for Chris Hand, not for any of us, but for you, the community, that the elected leaders would want to join you in a discussion about the important matters that are going on in our world nowadays. I'm here to tell you that Mark Green is absent. Oh, he's in D.C., and he sends out press releases. But when's the last time you saw him at a function? I mean, maybe he's going to functions that I don't go to. I don't know. I present to you that your 7th congressional district, and listen, I've never said a bad word to Mark Green. We've had disagreements about publicly available information from time to time. I'm not casting aspersions about this man's character, although, frankly, with some information in the news, maybe I could. But I'm not. I don't do that. I'm fascinated that he doesn't see a more pressing need to speak to the people of the 7th Congressional District directly. And maybe he's doing that and I'm unaware of it. Maybe he's doing that and I just don't see it. But I'm looking. And I feel like many of you have noticed it as well because I get communicated with you. I mean, well, you communicate with me. I said that improperly. And I don't get a response anymore. And I stopped trying, I'll admit to you. We had him on, never had a crossword. He got mad at me. It was the day I was on Brian Wilson's show. I was filling in for Brian, and we had him on that day. And we asked him questions about a report from Congressman Mike Turner that there was a serious security there was some serious security questions about the American public that needed to be made public. And we asked him about that, and he got mad at me for asking him about that. And I was like, look, I'm doing my job, man. My job is to provide information to the public. My job is to ask you these questions. I don't know why you're so mad. And like 30 minutes later, he tendered a letter of resignation. Remember that? He said he wasn't running for re-election, and now he has since rescinded it.
The irritating thing, though, was that you were asking him about information, and his claim was, I'm not going to talk to you about classified information. then it turned out he hadn't even been to the skiff yet to see
Right.
it.
He didn't know anything about it, which is all he had to say. But it was a day of confusion because Mike Turner was suggesting that there was like a major security breach and lives were at danger. It turned out not to be true.
No, it turned out to be him trying to pimp for his bill, and he was trying to make his bill look necessary.
Right. And so he was overstating the case and scaring the hell out of the American people, which is what we were trying to get to the bottom of. Is this real or phony baloney stuff? Mark Green, what say you? And he gets mad at me for asking the question. How dare you? I'm not going to give up American secrets. Or whatever. Well, since then, he's gone missing. I do not cast aspersions, and I try not to make comment about individuals' private lives. Until such time that I believe that potentially things that are going on in someone's private life may impact their ability to do their job as a representative of the 7th Congressional District in this example. And I'm not afraid. There are some that are very afraid of going there. I'm not afraid of going there. Not at all. The day I become afraid of these politicians, they serve you, not the other way around. And sadly, some of them feel like that it's the other way around, that we're here to serve them. I am nothing but a voice, or I attempt to be a voice of the people. And it occurs to me that there are some political figures in the state of Tennessee that don't feel answerable to the people. They feel immune from all of that. And Jason is right. I also asked him who his financial advisor was. Remember, his financial advisor up there in Cookeville or wherever it was he like outperformed the market by 187%. He was like the second congressman in a list of congressmen that he was second in terms of congressmen that outperformed the market. And I asked him who his financial advisor was, and he got mad at me. I'm like, what? He said, I'm not going to out that I'm not going to do that to that person. Well, why not? Because he claimed that it was just his financial advisor that was doing such a great job outperforming the market.
And that the Democrats would go after his financial advisor if that.
I mean, it just came off as as disingenuous, is what it came off as. And then there's Andy Ogles. Andy Ogles in 2022 was accused of lying about loaning his campaign money. I found out about that. I was fresh into town. I'd not been in town for 6 months. And I got information that said this is true. Andy Ogles claims that he loaned his account some $350,000. He didn't loan his account any money. He's doing that to try to keep others out of the primary race. He's trying to big money other people to keep other people out of the race. This was the information that I was told, and it turned out that information was correct. And so we got crossways. Ogles wouldn't come on the show for a year or so. We repaired that after he was elected. I felt like in order to serve you, I would hold my nose and I would repair that relationship so that I could have him on air so that he could inform you, the citizens of the 5th Congressional District, what's going on in Washington, D.C., and how he is serving you. And that was okay for a hot minute. And then it turned out that everything that we knew then that he denied then was true. And now the FBI is investigating him. I don't know if there's anything there. I have no idea if there's any heat there. But I know this. If I was a sitting congressman or a radio host or anything else and I had done nothing wrong and the FBI was after my ass, I would be on every radio station that I could get on in the 5th Congressional District. I would be in front of every television camera that I could get in front of in the 5th Congressional District. And I would tell the voters of my district that this is a load of garbage and I'm going to fight it until I am exonerated. And I've seen none of it with Andy Ogles. I just wonder if these types of things are preventing more effective representation amongst those in Middle Tennessee. I'm not hating on anybody. I'm not trying to hate on anybody. I don't dislike Mark Green personally. I don't really know Mark Green personally, honestly. I don't feel like Mark Green allows the people that he doesn't want to know him. And I think maybe we're finding out why. Ogles, same deal. If you hear me get very passionate about these things, it's not because I have a dislike for Ogles or Green or anyone else for that matter. I have a dislike for dishonest government. I have a dislike for people who achieve positions of political power and use it for personal gain as opposed to the gains of the constituents that they put their hand on a Bible and swore to protect and to serve. That's why I get upset. It also upsets me that I went into a voting booth and I voted for Andy Ogles. And I'm man enough to tell you how much I regret that. I do. I regret it because of how he has acted over the last 4 months.